get the ball first. The kickoff sent toward the end zone. And it's going to be returned outside the 20 and across the 25. The Sooners will have the ball first. So they're going to kick off. And the Sooners will get the ball first. The kickoff sent toward the end zone. And it's going to be returned outside the 20 and across the 25. The Sooners will have the ball first. Seth Carter with the kickoff return there. And here we go. Blake Bell. You know him as the Belldozer. He's been a prominent part of the offense the last few years, but only in special packages, Ray. This is Blake Bell's first start of his career.
And it'll be his first chance to run the complete offense. What we've seen him do in the past is take that red zone stuff and mainly run the football. We're going to find out today if he can throw the football in this Sooner offense.
Brennan Clay is the tailback. One bit of news here on game day, and right away a penalty flag thrown. So before the Sooners even run a play, a flag is down. But Damian Williams, one of the prime tailbacks for this Sooners team, he is not going to play. Coach's decision
illegal
today.
Substitution. Offense. 12 men in the formation. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Alan Eck, our referee, pointed in the wrong direction, but the call is against the Sooners, so 5 yards backwards before Blake Bell and Oklahoma even run a play.
I guess that would be inauspicious.
Not the way that the Sooners, I think, were hoping to start this game. But it's a pistol-type formation with Bell, and he'll flip it to Jalen Saunders, left edge. He's got great speed to the outside, now cutting it back middle. Saunders gets hit hard, but powers forward, and he's got a first down. A big gain of 17 yards. Saunders with a big play, and they will go up-tempo, the Sooners will, but I think it is a big story, Ray, that Damian Williams is not going to play here this afternoon.
Well, we'll find out about Oklahoma's depth. They've got some young guys that they think can handle it. Keith Ford and Alex Ross.
And Clay will get the carry here, coming off a career-best game. He's got 4 yards over the left side. It'll be second down.
Nice play by Sean Jackson, the inside linebacker, avoiding a blocker and stepping up in there to make the hit.
Brennan Clay, who's a senior from San Diego, number 24 for the Sooners, 170 yards rushing in Oklahoma's win last week against West Virginia. Bell back to pass, and a little screen pass incomplete. Looking for Clay. Third down coming up.
Clay kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I think he goes downfield too far initially on his route, and by the time he comes back and shows himself, Bell had to get rid of the football, and that blew up the timing of that little screen pass.
First third down coming up here for the Sooners. 3rd and 6. They need to get right to midfield. Blake Bell, 6'6", 252, the junior from Wichita, Kansas. From the shotgun. Now finds his man over the middle. Complete first down. That's Sterling Shepard with the catch.
Nice patience by Bell. You're going to see him look it off and then find his receiver, the second guy. And that's good when you have a quarterback in his first start here going through progressions.
And the Sooners insist that they are confident that Blake Bell can be more than just a running quarterback, that he's got the big arm. He can be a passing quarterback. Quick hitter, right side, complete, and a nice gain. Good cut upfield by Shepard again inside the 30 to the 29 of the Golden Hurricane.
Just going to be a quick out throw, and you're going to throw it right at you. Perfectly done. And Shepard makes a little move, makes a man miss there, but the ball came out fast, and that's what's important for Blake Bell.
So 14 yards on that play. First down, Sooners. And you may well see Oklahoma some higher percentage type looks for Bell, try to get him in a rhythm. Now a slightly different formation. They'll give it to Clay right side, and really no room whatsoever. In fact, he's pushed backwards. That's a loss of a couple yards.
Nice play by the inside linebacker Trent Martin, stepping up and delivering the hit to Clay as Tulsa, the whole defense was slanting in that direction. So a nice call there to get things going by Brent Guy, the defensive coordinator.
And you like him?
I like them all, Martin and Brent Guy. I think they play good defense at Tulsa.
Another pistol type formation. Bell with Clay behind him. Another handoff to Clay. There was a hole, but a nice tackle there. Good play by Sean Jackson to prevent a bigger gain. It's third down coming up, 3rd and long.
Jackson close to the line of scrimmage, and watching him on film, I think he would probably be one of their best defensive linemen if they were to put him down there and line up on people. He's much better the closer he gets to that line of scrimmage.
So here's a 3rd down and just about 10 for the Sooners. Bell back to pass. Rolling right. Bell going to try to cut it upfield. Breaking tackles. Bell out into the open. Bell lunges forward, and I think he's got the first down.
Great decision by Bell here by not making a mistake and throwing the ball down the field. You see, there's really nowhere to go with it. He gets flushed out, and now the athleticism takes over. And Bell, he's no stranger to running the football down here in this area of the field in the Sooner offense.
Well, 1st and 10 after the scramble by Bell. He's big, he's strong, he will make tacklers miss. Another carry for Clay. Bounces it left, cuts it up. Breaking tackles Clay inside the 10 and close to the first down.
And this is what Oklahoma calls their Sooner formation, where they bring 2 tight ends, Ripkowski and Millard, into the backfield.
And a very quick snap, handoff. Clay right side running. And I believe he does have the first down. Short gain that time, but he got enough. He needed 1. They got 2. It'll be 1st and goal.
Really a power formation that they use, that Sooner formation. A lot of things they can do off of that. And this drive is looking pretty good here. The first one for the Belldozer, driving them right down the field.
Exactly how Oklahoma wanted to start. Now they want to get into the end zone. They had red zone problems last week against West Virginia. The star fullback, sort of do everything guy in this offense, Trey Millard, is behind Bell, and Millard will get the carry straight ahead. Power running inside the 5 down to the 4.
Millard is an amazing football player. They'll line him up at tight end and at an H-back position. You'll see him at a fullback. You'll see him at a tailback, which he just ran right there. And he can do it all. You ask yourself, why don't they give him the ball more? Well, he's such an effective blocker that they like to put him at the point of attack, and he gets work done.
Here's a variation of that Sooner formation. Millard in motion. Bell to Clay. Clay, touchdown, Oklahoma. And that caps off a very impressive drive for Bell and the Sooners.
In the center, Eichert, watch him finish off Martin right there with that block. And Clay sees it, cuts in behind it to the pay dirt.
12 play, 72-yard drive. So the penalty turned out to be not so inauspicious. Almost 5 minutes for Blake Bell and the Sooners. Now Michael Honeycutt will attempt the extra point. A little bit of a high snap, but the kick is through, and Oklahoma has a 7-0 lead.
Oklahoma jumps out to the 7-0 lead as Clay gets it into the end zone. That offensive line powering the Hurricane out of the way.
Welcome back to Norman. The Oklahoma Sooners, their first drive of the game ends up in the end zone. 7-0 Oklahoma leading Tulsa. Dave Fleming and Ray Bentley, happy to have you with us here this morning, still here Norman time, and the morning could hardly have gotten off to a better start for Oklahoma.
No kidding about that. Blake Bell coming in his first drive, hit 3 or 4 passes from 44 yards and ran this offense, and it's the first time all year OU has scored on the opening drive. That's a good sign as well.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's the big question coming into this game. The quarterback situation, Bell making his first ever start, and how would he handle a bigger role in this offense? He was the favorite before the fall camp started to be the starting quarterback. Trevor Knight beat him out, the redshirt freshman from San Antonio. He's banged up. Bell getting the start, and the offense looked fantastic. So now the kickoff deep, and Tulsa will be getting the ball for the first time. Their star running back, Trey Watts, with the return out to the 30. So before Tulsa runs play, we'll send it back to the studio to Wendy Nix. Wendy?
Dave, thank you very much. On ESPN, Teddy Bridgewater and Louisville facing Kentucky. On ABC, UCLA and Nebraska. And on ESPNU, Bowling Green and Indiana. We'll keep you updated as the day progresses.
All right, we look forward to that. Lots of good early action on this college football Saturday. So the first play, a little quick hitter out to the left side, and a nice gain for the running back coming out of the backfield. 13 yards. That's Trey Watts with the catch and run. Cody Green, number 7, the senior quarterback who started his career at Nebraska, transferred to Tulsa, so he's got some experience against the Sooners.
In fact, he beat the Sooners back there in 2009 as the Nebraska starting quarterback.
Under center here now, I formation. They'll give the ball to Watts over the right side, and a gain of about 3 yards on first down.
Quentin Hayes came flying up from his safety spot to deliver the hit in the hole.
Trey Watts, senior, and a great connection to this Oklahoma program. His dad, J.C. Watts, one of the all-time great Sooner quarterbacks. A distinguished figure here in the state. Trey's had a fantastic career. He started as a walk-on, and he's become a star at Tulsa. Now they hand off, and not much room that time. Good stop by the Sooners defense, which has been very stout. The first carry for Jatarian Douglas.
And Julian Wilson, the outside linebacker, kind of came in on a blitz there. Nobody picked him up. He was able to make the hit.
Well, Douglas and Watts will get a lot of carries. There's the defensive coordinator for the Sooners, Mike Stoops, brother of Bob. Trying to get this Sooners defense back to dominance this year. They've been dominant so far. Green in the shotgun on 3rd and about 5. Over the middle, he hits his man, but the tackle right away in midfield and short of the first down. Eric Patterson with the catch, but not enough, and Tulsa's going to punt.
Yeah, you're just going to see a short crossing route right here, and the immediate tackle is what saved it on this. Stanvon Taylor for Oklahoma makes the hit before the sticks, and that's what you have to do, is tackle securely, because they expect a little run after the catch. Does Tulsa.
The punt and a fair catch signal by Saunders. He's going to make the fair catch inside the 10. Not great field position for the Sooners. When we come back to Norman, great start though for Oklahoma. They lead 7-0.
ESPN College Football is presented by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. Take it after lunch. Be clear and alert for hours. And in part by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building.
Well, the 11 a.m. kickoff time here in Norman. You know that Tiffany's over in Noble was hopping for breakfast this morning. Blake Bell and his Sooners for their second drive of the game. Oklahoma went right down the field the first time they had the ball very impressively.
Yeah, and it was pretty much Blake Bell getting it done. Here's a little dump off to Shepard, makes a man miss, gets the chains moving there, and then Bell does what he does, a little scramble to pick up another first down.
So the Sooners not great field position here, starting at their own 8-yard line. Bell to Roy Finch, the tailback this time, who's a speed back, not a big guy. A little spin move across the 10 and close to the 12-yard line for about a 4-yard gain on first down for the senior from Florida.
Hey, listen, Finch at 167 pounds, stand 5'7". And he is quick as you might expect there, but he just can't take the punishment. That's why he doesn't get in there very often.
Well, we might have expected Damian Williams in the game at this point, but he's not going to play today. Coach's decision. Bell, the good fake, he keeps it, but good defense by Tulsa to close that hole up. Out to the 14-yard line. Todd with the tackle, the defensive end for the Golden Hurricanes.
Yeah, Todd, the defensive end on the opposite side, was on a stunt looping back to the inside, and a perfect call again by Brent Guy to put him in the hole.
So third down here without great field position. We'll see how aggressive the Sooners are with their first-time starter Blake Bell. Clay next to him in the backfield.
Here comes the heat.
Bell has some time, throws middle and wide open on the move. Jazz Reynolds to midfield. Reynolds foot race inside the 20, inside the 10, and dragged down finally at the 4-yard line.
Muto, the safety, kind of bumps off the defender, the guy Dwight Dobbins, who had a hold of him. He picked him, and that's left Jazz wide open in the field to just get into a foot race. And Jazz Reynolds almost takes it to the house. Great hustle by Darnell Walker to catch him before he gets in.
82 yards, and it's 1st and goal for the Sooners. Bell, with Clay behind him, gives it to Brennan Clay. Picking his way forward and nowhere to go. Another nice play by Trent Martin, the middle linebacker.
Tulsa expected this big time with that overloaded set, and they just sent everybody in that direction. The Sooners, I'm sure they're watching upstairs. They see the room for either a cutback or a misdirection play out of that particular set, and they could walk in.
A loss of 3. It's still 2nd and goal, but now back at around the 7-yard line. Another give to Clay. Cuts it middle and tackled inside the 5, down close to the 3 by Muto.
Muto came up, make a nice tackle in the hole to stop it. That one was more of a kind of a one-on-one situation, and Muto won, but this offensive line is just still punishing. And this was the matchup Tulsa had to be concerned about, is their defensive line against this massive Sooner offensive line. They're outweighed by about 50 pounds a man across the line.
Big advantage for Oklahoma. 3rd and goal from the 3. 3 for 3 on 3rd down so far, the Sooners. Bell looking for the end zone. Pass incomplete. And the coverage was there, and I think he may well have decided he didn't want to try to fit it into tight coverage. It'll be 4th down, and it looks like the field goal team's coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you see the 3 receivers on the outside. Everybody swirling back towards the inside. And Bell said, you know what? There is nobody open. I'll just throw it through the uprights. See if they give me any points for that.
And they did not.
No.
Not surprisingly.
If he'd have kicked it, maybe.
So about a 21-yard short try here. Just about an extra point, but from the hash. Honeycutt, the place kicker. And not an easy angle, but Honeycutt kicks it right on through. Not a touchdown, but more points for the Sooners. Blake Bell 2 for 2 with scoring drives. 10-0 Oklahoma. Dave Fleming, Ray Bentley back here in Norman. Our Saturday menu brought to you by Applebee's. Great day of college football. Tennessee, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, big game in the SEC. Notre Dame at Purdue, and a big game in the Big 12. Texas hosting Ole Miss at 8 Eastern, a game that the Longhorns have to be feeling like they need to win. Just part of the day for college football as the Sooners off to a great start against Tulsa here. They lead 10-0. 5:09 to go, 1st quarter. Oklahoma, after the short field goal, will kick it off. Nick Hodgson, who is the kickoff specialist. Watts is deep to receive. And he will take it in the end zone and take an ease. So a touchback. Let's check in once again in the studio with Wendy Nix.
Dave, thank you. College football all over our networks this afternoon. Bowling Green at Indiana on ESPNU. Nate Sudfeld, the scramble out of the pocket to Shane Wynn. 48 yards and the touchdown. Indiana up 7-0 over the Falcons. And on ABC, it's Taylor Martinez, center stage. Martinez to Quincy Enunwa, 11 yards. It's a score. Nebraska with a touchdown lead over UCLA. Dave?
All right, thanks, Wendy. I mean, that's a big game for Nebraska and UCLA. The Bruins beat the Huskers last year.
Yeah, that's one of those litmus test games.
I believe it is. Early check to see how good we really are. The quarterback keeper for Green. Just not a lot of room straight ahead running. 2-yard gain on 1st down for Tulsa.
Once again, Julian Wilson coming off the edge is able to make a play. Comes unblocked. And they're going to have to block him eventually. He's fast enough to take on that zone read both the quarterback and the dive man.
Well, I agree with you. They are going to have to block him. He's been everywhere in the early going of this game. Under center Green, a real short drop, and the ball tipped up and almost intercepted. Corey Nelson, excellent senior linebacker, got a hand on the ball.
Nelson must be hearing the plays called because he just played that slant route all the way, stepping into the picture. And here he is right here on the outside, and he just drops into that slant area and almost picks that one off.
He is one of the leaders, one of the captains of the defense. Number 7, Corey Nelson from Dallas. Cody Green, native of Dayton, Texas, on 3rd down and 8. In the pocket, middle, caught. Nice catch, jumping up for the first down. So the reception by Jordan James, the senior, has had a big career for Tulsa. First down, Golden Hurricane.
Nice throw by Cody Green as the pressure was getting on him, and he hung in there and made the throw on the dig route, hitting James across the middle for a first down.
3 receivers here. And Watts in the backfield with Green. Fake it to Watts. Green rolling. Throws very short. Bounce that one. Incomplete.
And Green just tried to use too much arm. Didn't get his body right. And I think he was late making the throw as well. All those things added up to a grounder.
Well, Green, who was the starter last year, Tulsa had their 11-win season. But he is still erratic as a passer. He's a good athlete. Big guy.
It all goes to his feet, Dave. If his feet are good, he's good.
Quick hitter right side, and another catch for number 12 Jordan James, spinning across to near the 45-yard line, but it'll be 3rd down at about 5.
And on that particular play, Cody Green's feet were outstanding. He took the snap, his footwork was perfect, and he delivers a strike. Where he gets, watch his feet. Go ahead and run this, fellas. And see that? That's just perfect footwork. His foot was pointed at the target. And what he does opens his hips too soon, and that leads to the bad throws.
3rd and 5. He'll throw right, and he hits his man again. James, first down into Oklahoma territory. That was well delivered.
Again, another nice one. And that's the thing about him. He'll drive a coach crazy. And I know Greg Peterson, the offensive coordinator, has a lot of patience, but he'll look like King Kong on some plays. And then he'll look like Cheetah on some other ones. So, you know, you got to get that good mix. And he's just inconsistent. But when he's on, he's very good.
10-0 Sooners, but Tulsa has gotten some first downs. A couple times they've had the ball now into Oklahoma territory. And they'll give it straight ahead running Watts, who squirts through the hole. And the ankle tackle saved a bigger gain there. Still nice running for Trey Watts.
Right behind the fullback, Colby Scott. And Colby Scott came in and delivered a nice blow to a linebacker to kind of kick him out. That was number 42, Dominique Alexander, who took that block from Colby Scott.
Watts, the son of the Oklahoma great J.C. Watts. In the backfield again, they fake it to Trey Watts. Green is going to throw the ball to him, and he's wide open. 30, 25, inside the 20, and finally shoved out of bounds and close to one of those horse collar tackles, but no flag. Big gain of 25 yards for Watts.
And I think Frank Shannon, the linebacker, blew the coverage on this one. Because he kind of took a step towards Watts and then went the other way and then quick turned around and chased him down. You see he ends up making the tackle. That was his job, man-to-man there. He let him go. Give Green credit. He found that open receiver. Watts coming out of the backfield.
And not first and goal, but inside the 15, the Golden Hurricane threatening to get on the board for the first time. Green all alone. Now Douglas shifts back into the backfield. They will give it to Douglas. Not a lot of room, close to the 10, short gain. Nelson in on the tackle.
Corey Nelson, they'll move him all over the place in this defense. He'll play inside linebacker, and then he'll play outside linebacker. They move him around, and they put him where they think it's coming. And why not? Because this kid's an outstanding ball player.
9-play drive already. Tulsa's marched down the field. Handoff, Watts made one man miss, spins through another tackle. Just too many Sooners are there. 2 yards on the second down carry.
Eric Stryker does a great job on the edge. It looked momentarily like Watts had somewhere to run, but Stryker just got outside and got it done.
This has been a problem area for Tulsa in the early season. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals in 9 trips inside the 20. So that is not a good touchdown percentage.
And it's not been one particular thing. It's just been different breakdowns, penalties here and there, mistakes. You know, if there's one thing, you might be able to fix it a lot quicker.
Big 3rd and 5 for Tulsa. And flags fly. I think they moved before the snap.
There's a perfect example.
Ball start. Number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
The left tackle, Garrett Stafford, making his 5th career start. Go from 3rd and 5 back to 3rd and 10. Remember, Oklahoma's defense, they've only allowed 7 points total in the first 2 games. A shutout in week 1, and they held what should be a pretty powerful West Virginia offense to just 7 in week 2.
I expect Mike Stoops to bring a blitz on this play. You got 2 indicators, 3rd and long and red zone.
Tulsa needs a timeout, so we'll see what Stoops and company have in store when we come back. 10-0 Sooners. 10-0 Sooners, but a big 3rd down play here coming for Tulsa. Just 30 seconds left in the first quarter from Norman. It's 3rd and 10. Green has been very good on this drive. This is the 11th play of the drive for Tulsa. Cody Green from the shotgun, a flag thrown, maybe a free play toward the end zone. The big hit, incomplete. The flag is thrown, intended for Watts. And that may have been one of those targeting penalties, or at the very least an illegal hit. We'll see. I think there was offsides even before that. Let the officials sort this one out.
Yeah, I watched the hit. I don't see that as a targeting foul. It looked to me like Gabe Lynn led with his shoulder. And I believe the first penalty was offsides against Oklahoma, unless they were drawn. But take a look at this hit.
There were 2
See the
fouls
shoulder.
on the play. Offside, number 80, defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Targeting. Number 9, defense. After this is the goal. Automatic first down. By rule, number 9 is disqualified from the game.
Wow.
We need a replay, which they can do on this situation. It won't change the penalty, but it could change the status of whether or not Gabe Lynn is ejected.
And he is furious, and I don't blame him.
Well, take a look. You see right here, he hit him with the shoulder. The head came down, but the contact is initiated with the shoulder. Let's see if the head gets in there. That's a tough one. It looked to me like the shoulder is what made the initial contact into Trey Watts.
As Ray just said, it is a reviewable play. They cannot wipe out the penalty, but they can wipe out the disqualification.
There it is again. You know, his head was out in front of Watts, but the contact came from the shoulder. So I don't know. If I'm looking at this, I'm not going to throw a kid out of the game for that type of hit.
And what changed this year is not the penalty, it's the punishment. The rule of the ejection for targeting is what's different this year, and that part of it is reviewable. Targeting essentially is if you initiate the contact with the crown of the helmet, or if you target and initiate contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player. And I think the crown of the helmet wasn't the lead there for Lynn, and the hit was on the shoulder. To me, that didn't look like targeting.
And there was no launch, and that's another indicator. If the guy launches where he gathers his feet and then springs out in a launch maneuver, then that indicates that targeting is highly likely. And Lynn didn't launch. He just ran continually through the hit. Here it is again. And that is not targeting. I hope they see it the way I do, because to get a disqualification on such a play, it would be a shame.
Gabe Lynn, the guy penalized there, the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. He's had a great start to this season. Played very well last week.
That's a great football play. And to have that penalized is one thing, but to have a kid ejected from a ball game over that, I think that would be egregious.
Sort of the gray area of the rule, to me at least, is the language of taking aim at an opponent for purposes of attacking with an apparent intent that goes beyond making a legal tackle. So did that go beyond?
Not in my mind. Certainly not.
I would agree with you. Let's find out.
After further review, number 9 is not disqualified.
Thank you.
By rule, the penalty is still in force. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And I think the shoulder aspect of it, Ray, is what you keyed in on, and that was the key part of the ruling. Now, again, the penalty stands.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, too. You know?
Well, it gives them an automatic first down. The offsides would have still kept it 3rd down. With that penalty, It's first and goal, Tulsa, so it's still a big call. But for the Sooners, Gabe Lynn gets to stay in the game. So that's a good example of how this now works. Green toward the end zone. Contact there. The flag is thrown from both sides.
And this is Stanbon Taylor interferes. He cuts off Jordan James, doesn't know where the football is, and disallows James an opportunity to make a play.
Pass interference. Number 6 defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
I think this is a good call. Watch, and you can see right here is the eyes of Taylor never find the football until he makes contact with James, and he cuts James off, cuts his path off to the football.
Stanbon Taylor, true freshman from Tulsa, playing against his hometown school. Gatorade High School Player of the Year in Oklahoma last year. Very talented guy. First and goal. Watts forward. Watts reaching and touchdown. From the far side comes the signal. Trey Watts with the touchdown, Tulsa.
Good push by the right side of that offensive line. Tyler Wilson, the tight end, he gets a nice block there. You see him knocking people back, and then the push there at the end by the fullback, number 34, Chris Hall, kind of just cemented it and got him into the end zone.
Carl Salazar, the place kicker for the Golden Hurricane. The kick is up, and the extra point is good. So with some help from some penalty flags down in the red zone, 11 plays, 75 yards, and a nice drive for Tulsa. Their first score of the game. It's 10-7. Oklahoma with just 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows. And the matchup tonight, Notre Dame, 21st ranked team of the country against Purdue, 8 Eastern on ABC. Ray, I think the big question for Notre Dame, can they bounce back from what was a disappointing result last week?
Yeah, very disappointing result. And, you know, this is a rivalry game for these two. Not far apart are the campuses in South Bend and West Lafayette. So they opted to keep that rivalry above the Michigan rivalry with the whole new scheduling fiasco everyone's heard about. And Purdue gets up to play that game. Might be a tough one.
Well, you saw the numbers for Tommy Rees, who has played well for Fighting Irish so far this season. Meanwhile, Oklahoma had allowed just 7 points in the first 2 games combined here in the first quarter. Tulsa has moved the ball against the Sooners defense. It's a 3-point lead for Oklahoma. Cole Way, who is 6'8". There are not a lot of kickers. There are not a lot of left-footed kickers. Then there are not a lot of left-footed kickers who are 6'8". And Cole Way is. He'll kick it deep. And that's going to be a touchback. So the Sooners will come back on offense. And let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew. Downstairs, Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
Dave, thanks very much. First of all, to say the tensions are high down here is an understatement. It's gotten pretty crazy in the last few minutes. But before the game, I had a talk with Brent Guy. He's the defensive coordinator for Tulsa. And his concerns were, how would the Oklahoma Sooners use that 3-back set, and how would they be able to stop it? Once they get the first down, they go tempo, which means they raise the tempo and bring in the big bodies. Would they be able to slow that down? They've got some serious schematic problems on the other side of the ball. And number one, I think we need to pay attention to here, as Guy said 2 years ago, 62 offensive snaps for Oklahoma. They average 80. They're trying to hold them to that in this game today.
Okay, thanks, Lewis. A couple good keys there. The quick pass and caught across the 40. Sterling Shepard, who's off to a nice start in this game, out to the 32-yard line. And that likely will be the final play of the first quarter here in Norman. And I think the Sooners will be content to just let those final seconds tick off the clock. So Oklahoma with the 10-7 lead. Tulsa, though, Ray, doesn't look like they're going away.
Yeah, nice drive by them to get back in this ball game.
We've had excitement already. The Sooners, 2 long drives. The fans, yeah, they're ready for this in-state rivalry. 10-7 after quarter number 1. And we had a spirited first quarter here in Norman. The 14th ranked Sooners of Oklahoma trying to move to 3-0 with a 10-7 lead. Blake Bell making his first career start, and that's really the big story for the Sooners. Their pass game has been erratic early in the 2013 season. Bell has played well so far. On first down, he's going to keep it, but there just wasn't a lot of room. That was well defended. The ball did pop out, but they say that he was down, and it was a second down play. He lost a little yardage. It'll set up third down. Sean Jackson in on another tackle.
Jackson did a nice job. He was actually a linebacker off the line, and so Bell wasn't able to read him on that zone read. There was nobody out there, so he pulls it, and then Jackson shows up and makes the play.
And the thing about Blake Bell is he's a good running quarterback. He's not a speed running quarterback. He's a power runner.
Yeah, he is.
Third down, he's looking middle. He's got his man at the 40, complete for a first down. Sooners, the catch by Duron Neal, the sophomore from St. Louis.
And finally, Bell throws the ball deeper than 10 yards down the field, and he does it very accurately. His timing was outstanding, delivered a strike. That's a good sign as this Oklahoma offense starts to open up its wings a little bit.
Yeah, good point by you, and we'll be watching for that more today. The Sooners have a tough schedule, and against the top defenses they play, they're going to have that ability. Little pitch back play here. Bell gets the block on, but it was well defended by Tulsa. So Bell was a blocker on that play. Just not a lot of room for the very speedy Jalen Saunders, the senior from Elk Grove, California.
Another nice defensive call by Brent Guy. He had a corner blitz coming, and Darnell Walker kind of just ran right into that reverse and forced it back inside.
Tulsa defense trying to hold up against the big offensive line, the speed players on the outside. Second down, Bell will tuck and run near midfield, but stop short of the first down, and the umpire there sort of got in the middle of everything.
Nice job of Bell realizing everyone's covered, tucks it down, and then gets what he can out of it. You don't want to throw balls into traffic, especially as a young quarterback. You know what? He can run the football. He's fine doing that. I think that's a great decision of him, not forcing anything in there.
Yeah, the interceptions really cost Oklahoma last week. They put a big emphasis on protecting the ball. Third down here in 5, near midfield. A little wide receiver screen and a catch and turn upfield. Big play out of the open, Duron Neal. And his own man might have gotten in the way, Shepard, but inside the 15 and all the way near the 10. It's a 41-yard gain.
These little tunnel screens are things of beauty when the tunnel's open, and it opens up right there. And then it becomes a foot race, and Dwight Dobbins, the far side corner, is going to end up making the tackle and running him down. But that was great timing on that tunnel screen.
So Neal gets Oklahoma not just inside the red zone, but the Sooners now first and goal right at the 10. Millard is behind Bell in this formation. They'll throw the pass right side. Shepard inside the 10 to the 5, picking his way forward. Mudo with another tackle.
That didn't seem like that big of a throw or big of a deal from Blake Bell. But when you throw these quick screens to the outside, it's so important that they're accurate and that your receiver can make that catch with his momentum going forward to set up to make his moves and make people miss. They weren't necessarily getting that from Trevor Knight. Bell threw a strike on that.
Here's that sort of Sooner hybrid formation. Bell with Clay behind him, gives it to Clay. A cutback run to that left side and inside the 5, but stopped short of the goal line. It's going to be third and goal from the 3.
And they have Trey Millard, the lead blocker on this thing, actually cutting off the backside, and he just gets his man on the ground pretty much every time. Outstanding.
Millard will come out for this third and goal play. So big call in this second quarter from Norman. 10-7 Sooners. Bell back to pass, looking end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Shepard.
Again, great patience by Blake Bell. Waited for Shepard to come open and then drops it on him for the 6.
And those numbers for Bell, so impressive. His first start, the extra point here. is up, and it is good. Bell 9 for 11, almost 200 yards, and now the touchdown pass to Sterling Shepard.
And a lot of it happened off the arm of Blake Bell. Here's that tunnel screen to Neal to get him in position, and then the strike for the touchdown to Shepard.
A great scene here in Norman. It'll be a great scene at Fenway. Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. It is the Yankees and the Red Sox and Mariano Rivera for the final time, at least in the regular season at Fenway. They got some special stuff planned for him. It's going to be a great race, particularly for that wild card and the 2 spots in the American League. The Yankees right in the thick of things, so huge games for them. I think the Red Sox are feeling pretty good in the East. Your Tigers feeling pretty good, you think, in the Central?
It's day to day with Jimmy Leland and the boys, but they should feel all right.
One of the favorites, that's for sure. The kickoff very deep, and it'll be another touchback. So Tulsa will be back on offense, trailing 17-7.
Cody Green was outstanding in that last drive that ended up in the touchdown. Hit 4 of 6 passes for 55 yards on that last drive and was accurate with the football, making good decisions. If he can continue that, this Tulsa offense has a chance.
Those are the numbers, and they were impressive in some 3rd down conversions. The offensive line has, I think, held its own against the Sooners front. That was a big question coming into this game. From the 25, he's got Watts to his left side. He's going to swing it out to Watts, who gets a block, gets to the corner, 30, and a first down across the 35. 11-yard gain for Trey Watts.
You're going to see a great block. Go ahead and run this, fellas, on the edge. Right there. It was 76 Garrett Stafford. He took the legs out of Eric Stryker, creating that passing lane. And then it just turned into a foot race.
Watts, who's maybe not got pure front end speed, but he's got a lot of quickness. This time he gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a half a yard. Jordan Phillips, the sophomore, who the Sooners think could be a big-time player on the D line, made the tackle. Watts, and those numbers tell part of the story. He's a threat carrying the ball, and he's a big-time threat catching the ball.
Yeah, I think he's almost a better receiver than runner, but he's a very good runner.
It's Douglas in the backfield, and Douglas trying to break tackles, just nowhere to go. Corey Nelson takes the play for the Sooners.
I think Tulsa has a better opportunity getting to the edge. They're not going to be able to run between the tackles against this stout defensive line and those inside linebackers. I understand giving it a shot from time to time, but they're going to make their money on the perimeter.
3rd and 8. Green got set early, so he's got time. The play clock at 7. Winding down. Green, now he's got to hurry and get this snap off, and he does. Pressure comes, gets rid of it. Watts with the juggle and the catch, and he stays in bounds and gets the first down.
And he knew he had man-to-man coverage. That's what showed across the board. So he went for the matchup with Watts on Stryker right here down at the bottom. And you're going to see the inside and then the spin out. And Stryker kept his eyes into the backfield just a little too long to be able to make a cut and be able to make that tackle immediately.
The first down for the Golden Hurricane. Green, a little pump fake. He wants to go deep middle. It's intercepted. And it's Gabe Lynn who got to stay in the game with the overturned penalty. And he returns it all the way into Tulsa territory. He got hit pretty hard at the end of that play. His teammates checking to make sure he's okay.
I think that's justification right there for Gabe Lynn. Staying in this ball game makes the big play. And Cody Green did not see him at all. Here's Lynn right here. Now watch Green's eyes as he's looking. He gets the fake pump, and then he thinks, oh, I got him. Got a man running down the seam. He never saw the safety Lynn step in front and make that pick.
So he gets the interception, his second in 2 weeks, and a return of 33 yards gives Blake Bell and the Sooners excellent field position inside the 35. Bell just coming off his first career touchdown pass. He's got a lot on the ground. Handoff, left side running play. Upended after a gain of 2.
I would have liked to have seen Blake Bell take a shot in the end zone on that. Usually you see teams will give that a shot after a turnover. You know, just drop back and wing one deep and see what happens for your team. Because we have not seen Bell throw the ball on any deep routes whatsoever. They're going to have to do that. Not only here today, but throughout the course of this season. They're going to have to threaten vertically the ceiling, the top of the defense.
Sooners' schedule gets very tough very quickly. And not that this game is just a pushover game either. The pass, complete middle, and a couple of broken tackles for LaColton Bester with the catch. And right near that first down mark. I think he got the first down.
This was good patience for Blake Bell as he waited for Bester to clear the linebacker and then make the throw.
And it is a first down, Sooners. Not quite yet inside the 20. Bell 10 for 12, now over 200 yards. His first career touchdown pass. Fakes a handoff in the pocket, has to step up, runs into his offensive lineman and is dropped. Sean Jackson, another play on defense for Tulsa.
All right, Sean Jackson just basically ran over Adam Sheed to get to this play. Good coverage down the field. Yeah, you got to call this a coverage sack. But right there, you see number 55 there, Sean Jackson, just handling a man a lot bigger than him. His hands inside, great technique. He'd be one heck of a defensive lineman.
And they use him in that way, as you pointed out early in this game. They move him around. Sack and the loss of 6. So Bell pressured, a screen set up, completes it. Finch upfield. Finch breaks a tackle, cuts back middle. Finch end zone touchdown.
Well, it's just not fair when Finch is out in the open field.
.29 yards, and once he got into the open, we got to see the moves. The senior from Niceville, Florida, just 167 pounds, but he can run. After the turnover, the Sooners get in the end zone. The offense is humming for Oklahoma. Extra point up and good. 24-7, the Sooners on top.
And Roy Finch, the senior, wins his way to the end zone. Couple of really nice blocks from Eichert and Irwin on that screen. And then it's open field, and it's Finch to the house.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the new 2014 Scion TC, made to go the distance. And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Dave Fleming, Ray Bentley here in Norman. Ray, let's take another look at the touchdown.
Yeah, there's Bronson Irwin in the center. You're going to see Gabe Eichert. Right here's the back, and all three of these guys are just going to make their way over to here, and you're going to have perfect execution of the screen pass. And Bell is able to wait until the rush comes at him, drops it out there. You got great blocks on the edge. Both men end up on the ground, and then Finch in the open field is a mismatch for anybody.
Well, the Sooners offense struggling the first couple weeks, at least in the pass game, and it has been really impressive here this afternoon against this Tulsa team. 24-7, still 7:12 to go until halftime. The Sooners will be kicking off deep here. Kind of a low line drive kick, and that one is out of bounds. So the flag is thrown, not a touchback. That'll be that kickoff penalty, giving Tulsa some better field position. Let's check in with the studios once again. Wendy Nix.
Dave, thank you. We check in on number 16 UCLA at number 23 Nebraska. This on ABC. Taylor Martinez to Quincy Anunwa. The second time these two have connected. It's 14-3 on ESPNU. Bowling Green at Indiana, and it's just highway robbery. Paul Sen just takes that, the block punt. No question about this one. He goes all the way back to tie it up. And over on ESPN, Teddy Bridgewater and company all tied up with Kentucky.
All All right, Wendy, thanks. Some interesting stuff going on. That Bowling Green team, they took it to Tulsa in the opener, Ray, and I know you like Bowling Green.
Yeah, that's a good football team. That Miller kid at quarterback is outstanding.
So Green, the quarterback for the Golden Hurricane, off the mistake after the interception. He almost throws another one there. Nearly picked off, and that would have been 6 for number 6. Stan Von Taylor just could not quite hang on.
Jordan James, the receiver out there, is not on the same page with Cody Green. He kept running down the field. He runs a go route. Green has it called as a hitch. And you see the result almost was a big hitch in the offense for Tulsa.
So second down. Tulsa trying to avoid this game getting away from them here. Still a long way to go, and their offense has done some things well against the Sooners. Second and 10 here. They're going to give the ball to Douglas and just nowhere to go. Big hit and big tackle. Charles Tapper, the sophomore from Baltimore.
And Tapper moved from the left end, his normal spot, into the right end on this play. And boy, both he and Grissom, the ends for this Oklahoma defense, are outstanding football players.
Tapper, who played basketball in high school, that was his first love. Never lifted weights, didn't take football very seriously. It's one of the reasons why the Sooners think he's got big upside. He is taking it seriously now, and he is blossoming.
He is athletic.
Third down. Green over the middle. Contact, no flag, incomplete. And a good play by Stan Von Taylor, the true freshman who's been in on a lot of plays in his first half.
And the best thing Taylor did was avoid the contact, but watch him at the end of this reach up and slap the football out. Bam, right there. Now, I don't know if James would have caught it or not, but just having the presence of mind to know where that ball was and go after it, that's a good play by Taylor.
Dalton Parks, the punter. Saunders back deep to receive. A high, fairly short punt. Fair catch. Saunders makes it, and that sends us to a timeout. 24-7. Oklahoma gets the ball when we come back. Second quarter, 24-7 Oklahoma. Blake Bell, his first career start. The Sooners have to be thrilled with the way he's played.
Yeah, and they need to be, because he's doing outstanding. Here's the Blake Bell everybody's seen before. Running an open field, people bouncing off of him. He can make plays there, but it's with his arm where he's been outstanding today. The accuracy of his throws has really been eye-opening. You see the touchdown pass right there to Shepard. And look at this, the numbers, 11 of 13 for 233 yards. One thing to note, 205 of those 233 receiving yards are rack yards, run after the catch. That means Bell's being very accurate.
Yeah, you pointed out that's the receivers. That's also the quarterback, putting him in a position to be able to run after catching. And Keith Ford, the true freshman from Cypress, Texas, 8-yard carry, his first rush of the game. They think he's got a chance to be the next great Oklahoma tailback. They've had a lot of them. And an injured player for Tulsa. And that is one of their best defensive players, Trent Martin, down on the field.
You know, the reason Ford's getting his opportunity, Damian Williams, the senior running back, announced right before the game today, it's coach's decision he will not play. So that gives Ford an opportunity to play here in the first half.
You wonder if that's a cramp for Martin. We'll check on that. Let's quickly check in again with Wendy Nix.
Dave, thank you. Stanford traveling across country to face Army in action at West Point, find themselves trailing 6-0 until Kevin Hogan connects with Ty Montgomery, the long TD pass. 14-6 Stanford. And Michigan, no hangover effect so far. Tail end of the first half, leading 7-3 over Akron. Dave?
All right, well, the Cardinal top 5 team, but fairly quietly leading at Army. We'll come back. Martin limps off the field, 24-7 Oklahoma. Second quarter, 24-7. Sooners with the lead and the ball. Blake Bell, quarterback for Oklahoma. First career start, second and short. For the true freshman, running right side, upfield, hits the hole, breaks a tackle, and you can see why they think he's got a chance to be fantastic. Just 2 carries, but another 7 yards for the kid from Cypress, Texas.
And they ran right at the replacement of Trent Martin. Jake Sizlove comes in to play the linebacker spot, and they're going to test him out right away, and they ran right through his position.
Good football name. We'll see if he can hang with the powerful Sooners. Now Ford empties the backfield. Bell back to pass, pressured, and that one was blown up. Jackson right there for the quick hit after the screen pass was complete to Millard.
And I believe Jackson was in man-to-man on the back on Millard in this particular instance, so that puts him right in perfect position. He steps up inside of the blocker on the screen to make the play.
A loss of 3 yards, 2nd and 13. 24-7 Oklahoma with the lead. Four receivers. And Finch, the tailback. The throw middle, juggled, but caught. Fairly short gain, though, maybe 4 yards. Trey McTwire, who's a sophomore. Another guy who's got big-time talent, hasn't yet totally emerged, but they think he's got a chance to be a great receiver.
They do have outstanding receivers. They haven't necessarily produced yet this year, but I think a lot of that has to do with the quarterback position. Today, they're producing because the Belldozer is very accurate. Who knew that heavy equipment could throw the ball like that?
He can, and he's pretty heavy. And I think you make a good point. It's 3rd down and long here after the shift. Bell back to pass. Looking middle, going deep. He's got his man wide open. Caught inside the 20. Another big play for Sterling Shepard.
And we found out the Belldozer can throw it deep as well. This is great touch from Blake Bell. I mean, watch him. He steps up into the pocket, gets it way up in the air to let his receiver, Shepard, run under it. And the catch is perfect there at the end of a very nice long throw.
Well, a kid with great ties to this Oklahoma program. Just a sophomore from up the road in Oklahoma City. And he is having a big first half. 1st down, Sooners. Bell, pump fake. Now looking left. He'll throw middle and short, intended for Neal. So not that time. The timing was off on that play.
I think he made a great decision not throwing that ball deep, as the corner out there was playing that play all the way. Dobbins, he had some good depth, and that would have been a tough grab to make.
2nd and 10 for Bell and Oklahoma. Shepard out on the left side, a part of those 3 receivers left. Bell looking left, throws short, and it's juggled and incomplete. Saunders couldn't quite haul it in. 3rd down.
Yeah, this was a pretty good throw, actually. It should have been caught. Another tunnel screen. We saw him do it early. Bell looks one way and then brings it back the other. Derek Lutjen makes the tackle, but it was dropped before that.
Sooners 7 out of 8 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and 10. And inside the red zone.
Here comes a blitzer.
Bell trying to make a call. Gets the snap off in plenty of time. He's going over the top toward the corner and too far. Intended for Neal. The Sooners fans wanted a flag, and it could be that ball was just uncatchable. Neal finally comes out of that tunnel. Darnell Walker Jr. good coverage for Tulsa.
I think if there was a flag, it would have been on Neal. He initiated the contact down there with Walker, pushed off a little bit, but again, the ball uncatchable, overthrown there into the corner of the end zone. If you're going to make that throw, if you're going to miss it, I should say, you want to be long.
30-yard try for Honeycutt from the right hash. He's got a big leg, career long 53 yards. The hold, the kick, and it's good. So the Sooners get 3. Second quarter, they lead 27-7.
Have a good one.
Hey.
The University of Oklahoma ranks #1 in the nation in National Merit Scholars enrolled at a public university. And OU students are studying in over 100 cities around.
3:41 to play, first half. Oklahoma's offense impressive, 27-7 to Sooners, 14th ranked team in the country and leading Tulsa. And the one question for Oklahoma in their first 2 games, the defense had been impressive. The run game had been very good. Can the passing game come to life with Blake Bell? And I think the answer, at least in this first half, has been emphatic.
Yeah, a resounding yes. Blake Bell can throw the football. And extremely accurate on all the short stuff, and even the long one he threw in that last drive. That was a nice shot.
And the point you made is such a good one. Oklahoma's got so many weapons to use. Consistency at that quarterback spot, and they're going to produce. Low kick, and it'll be taken on one bounce. Returned by Tulsa. Cutting it back middle now across the 20, and a tackle short of the 25 by Walker. College football prime time on ESPN, 1st and 7 Eastern in the SEC. That's a big game on both sides. Vanderbilt and 13th ranked South Carolina, Wisconsin, Arizona State. There's one of those litmus test kind of games you've been talking about. 10:30 Eastern out in Tempe.
Find out if the Badgers are for real and if Arizona State look good so far.
Yeah, Sun Devils have a good team, a talented team. They've got a big time quarterback. Injury on the kick coverage. That's the kid, Stan Von Taylor, the true freshman who's been so impressive. Green from the shotgun. Tulsa needs some points. Douglas on the pitch, cuts it upfield to the 30, and finally tackled down after a nice game. Once again in the studio, Wendy Nix.
Dave, thank you. Heisman hype building already for Teddy Bridgewater. His team facing Kentucky. Bridgewater here to Devontae Parker. This game on ESPN, tail end of the first half. 4 Pac-12 Big Ten games today, among them Nebraska, UCLA on ABC. Taylor Martinez to Kenny Bell Martinez with 3 touchdowns in the first half, 21-3.
Watts with the carry for Tulsa, gain of 8. Nearing the end of the first half, and the Golden Hurricane would do well to try to keep the ball here and get some points and try to hang in this game.
And really, to me, it depends on Cody Green and his ability to throw strikes in the passing game.
And the number that really stands out there, 334 yards of offense in the first half for the Sooners. Good power running Watts. Across the 45, they're going to spot him out at the 46, so 6 more yards on the ground.
Yeah, that fullback for the Golden Hurricane, Colby Scott, has been dominating people every time he's in the game and making lead blocks. He is punishing linebackers.
In the age of spread offense and wide receivers and
9 breed, aren't they, the fullbacks?
You don't see a lot of them. We got 2 really good ones in this game. Now a ball pushed backwards there on the carry to Watts. He was knocked backwards and lost a yard. Gino Grissom and Matt Diamond, the defensive lineman for the Sooners, in on the play.
That Diamond in there at that right end spot just controlled the man he's over. Garrett Stafford working down the line, got rid of him, and then put his face mask in the breadbasket of Trey Watts.
He's a true freshman. Didn't come in really with expectations that he'd be playing early, and yet he's on the field. He's been a really good surprise. The throw and complete for a first down. Once again out of the backfield, Watts with the catch.
Well, Watts is such a weapon. I mean, he's their leading receiver, and they move him outside, and then he's just able to make plays. Watch him, just a little quick step out, perfect route, makes the catch with his hands, turns it upfield. Don't do any better than that.
He's caught every ball thrown to him. 65 yards through the air on 5 catches for Watts in the first half. That one sails high and incomplete. Intended for James. 2nd and 10, Tulsa. They've got plenty of time. They have 2 timeouts. Clock stops on the incompletion, 1:34. So they have to be aware of the clock, but if they play it right and can move the ball down the field, they should have enough time to get some points. Watts in motion. Green back to pass. Nice pocket. He's got his man open, and it's incomplete.
Once you know it, as soon as I compliment a guy, he's going to go and drop one. This is a wheel route. They had set this up, and this thing is going to work. Here he comes in motion right here. Watch, just looking like, no big deal, nothing to see here. And then he goes and explodes up the sidelines on that wheel route, and the coverage was totally missed by Hatari Bird. But unfortunately, the pass was dropped by Trey Watts.
Yeah, that frustrates an offense because you said it. They set the play up. They've been calling those short swing passes. And the Sooners bit, just did not convert. 3rd and 10. Green with time. He throws, and again, it's too high. Intended for James. Incomplete. It'll set up 4th down.
You know, I didn't care for the body language of Cody Green after that drop. You just don't want to show that kind of emotion when a teammate makes an error like that, because he's missed his own share. You know, in fact, 2 passes, 2 out of his last 3, he has kind of missed. Actually, 2 out of his last 4. Those over to the left sideline. He's just throwing them out into space.
Parks the punter. Saunders the return man. He'll try to pin Oklahoma deep. An end-over-end punt. Saunders, fair catch at the 13. So 27-7 Oklahoma. Wendy Nix in the studio. Wendy?
Dave, thank you. Coming up on the Dave and Buster's halftime report, we'll check in on that top 25 matchup in Lincoln. Teddy Bridgewater trying to legitimize his Heisman Trophy candidacy. We'll talk about that and our Saturday setup with my partners, Todd McShay and Robert Smith. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
Great, Wendy. Thanks. We'll look forward to that as Bell and the Oklahoma offense. We'll see how aggressive the Sooners are here. 1:18. A 27-7 Oklahoma lead. They have all 3 of their timeouts. Bell has had a huge first half, almost 300 yards, and the first 2 passing touchdowns of his Oklahoma career. He's going to fake the handoff, swing it out left side. Millard upended. So the tackle after a short gain. The clock is rolling.
And Oklahoma will go hurry here, obviously. You know, a lot of times you see a screen or a draw in this type of field position. They really need another 10-15 yards to crank up that 2-minute offense. Looks like they're just going to kind of play it slow here and be content with the 27-7 halftime lead.
Yeah. The one thing was you figured it might be a chance to practice for Bell some of that 2-minute type offense.
Right. The field position just doesn't warrant it.
Yeah. Bell with the clock moving. They'll hand the ball off here. Left side running. Nice gain out near the first down. Time Clay with the carry. He's had a relatively quiet first half. Had the touchdown run on the first drive. At a gain of 9. Clock stops after the first down, and now it will roll. Bell's just not in a real hurry. Bell back to pass. So they are throwing. They're going to take a shot deep down the right sideline, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. Intended for Shepard. Clay a little banged up on the sideline. 10 seconds until halftime. It'll be 2nd and 10. Oh, already without Damian Williams. They're second of their sort of 2 prime tailbacks. Now Clay looks a little dinged up. They have depth at that position.
They do. They got Finch in there. Keith Ford, we've already seen him, and then Alex Ross. All 3 of those guys can carry the mail.
Give it to Finch. Finch with the short gain, and that will be the final play of the first half. Well, it was an interesting first half and an exciting one, I think, for the Oklahoma offense. Bell and the Sooners passing game really came to life. 27-7 is the halftime score. Oklahoma, 14th ranked team in the country, with the lead over Tulsa. So Bell and the Sooners offense, they've got to be pleased with the way they performed.
Yeah, Bell has really answered a lot of questions here in the first half. Can he sustain it? That'll be the question.
Yeah, they were big questions coming into this game. The passing offense last week was just downright ugly, especially by Oklahoma standards. Much more up to par here in this one this afternoon. Let's send it down to Lewis Johnson. Lewis.
All right, thanks very much. Well, Coach, a challenging first half. What do you see? What might your adjustments be for the second half?
Well, the big thing is we got to make sure we execute. We turn a guy loose in man coverage. We're not getting deep when we're supposed to be in zone. And then we just, have 1 turnover, and we've got to do a better job of just executing.
And defensively, really, it's difficult to slow them down on those snap counts. Is something you're concerned about. How will you address those issues?
Well, that part's been pretty good so far. The big thing that we've had is just their athleticism. They're just very good.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, Lewis, thank you. So Tulsa will try to regroup in the locker room. Halftime score, Oklahoma 27, Tulsa 7. Now we'll send you to the Dave and Buster's halftime report after an impressive first half for the Sooners.
Thank you, Dave.
Welcome Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Perfect Saturday for football in Norman, and things going well for the 14th ranked Sooners. They lead Tulsa 27-7 start of the second half. Dave Fleming, Ray Bentley here with you from Memorial Stadium. And Ray, Oklahoma 2-0 coming into this game, and yet some real questions about their passing game and their quarterback Bell making his first career start. I would say the Sooners have to be pretty pleased with the way that first half went.
Yeah, those questions have been answered, at least here for a half. Blake Bell has been very accurate with his big arm, and that to me is what it's all about, playing quarterback in this type of an offense. Now, he can still run the ball, as you see right here, and he hasn't really been called upon to do too much of that. He's done it with his arm. Here's the one time he went deep and was able to connect there to Sterling Shepard. Then his touchdown pass right there. I mean, he's been very accurate, and on the shorter passes as well. That's what leads to all that run after the catch, those rack yards that Oklahoma has over 200 of here after the first half of play. That's because he's putting the ball on the spot, and his playmakers, he's getting it in their hands, and they're making plays.
Well, Tulsa did win the toss, and they deferred, so the Golden Hurricane will get the ball first in the second half with a lot of work to do. 27-7. That's the Sooners' lead. Tulsa was hanging in early. It was 10-7. And they were moving the ball, but Oklahoma got a turnover, sort of swung the momentum of the game. Lewis Johnson at halftime had a chance to talk with Bob Stoops. Let's send it down to Lewis.
Yeah, he was in a cautiously good mood, I might put it that way, as I asked him about his quarterback. And he seemed not to be wanting to put too much praise on him, but felt that he was calm, poised, confident, liked what he saw so far in the first half. What they want to see now is clean up the Oklahoma running game a little bit more. And then Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, said they need to make sure they keep a hat on Tulsa running back Trey Watts. Dave? All
right, thanks, Lewis. Well, we love Bob Stoops, but, you know, good mood isn't always the first thing you think of. You think of the 15-year head coach of the Sooners. Douglas swarmed on that little swing pass. First down play, Jatarian Douglas, the senior from Arlington, Texas. But that one was stuffed, and so a loss of 4.
Yeah, this is a lateral if you look at it, and it was a good job by Douglas to make the catch. Now, he's not going anywhere, but he did secure the football, and you got to give him some credit for that.
Yeah.
That wasn't very easy.
Yeah, you're right about that. If he drops that, that's a live ball. So that is not how Tulsa wanted to start the second half. Green, the quarterback. Back to pass on second and long over the middle, and it's almost intercepted. Really just dropped by Corey Nelson, the linebacker.
Yeah, they always tell you there's a reason guys play defense, and one of those reasons is their hands aren't very good. It won't get any easier than this. And Corey Nelson says, yeah, that's on me, I know. And he just needs to get there on that jug machine and practice catching the football more, because this is, this is not going to hurt him so much here today, but you get into those big games, you can't squander those kind of opportunities.
Did they ever say that about you?
Never.
I didn't think so.
I refuse to hear that.
Third down, short pass, and it's incomplete. Well, Tulsa, not a real smooth first 3 plays intended for Jordan James. The Golden Hurricane will punt, and the Sooners defense is starting to feel it.
Well, they put it on him there, that little 3-play deal where Tulsa goes backwards for 4 yards. And looks like the Sooners defense will keep Mike Stoops in a guardedly good mood.
Yeah, I like the way Lewis put it there after talking to Bob at halftime. Parks the punter. And this one is returnable for Saunders. Spins away and goes back middle. He's got great open field speed. Saunders, the cutback, still going. And finally tripped up at the 35 of Tulsa. He is exciting in the open field. And I think he thinks he should have had a touchdown.
Yeah, he should have, I think, as well. And watch him change directions and shakes off the tackler here and hits the gas pedal. You can see he just can jump out of those shoes. But the cut back there, I think you need to make a better move on the punter. That was the problem. He kind of ran away from the punter. You want to put a move on that guy or run right over him.
I think in film review, he's going to hear about that one.
He will definitely hear about it.
From his coaches and probably especially from his teammates. Still a great return, 28 yards after the 41-yard punt. Bell, first drive of the second half for the Sooners. The give left side, Millard. And the defensive line for Tulsa, all things considered, Ray, I think they've held up pretty decently. We thought that had a chance to be a big mismatch.
Yeah, they have done a nice job up front. You see Derek Luchin, the sophomore, just making the play right there. But Alexander's done a nice job, and Brenton Todd, we've mentioned a couple of times, is doing a nice job. And I want to include Sean Jackson, even though he's a linebacker. I make him an honorary defensive lineman with the way he plays.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you saw those numbers, just over 60 yards rushing and not even 3 yards a carry for the Sooners. They ran for 300 plus against West Virginia. Bell goes down, tackled at the ankles by the Tulsa defense there. No gain.
See, there's nowhere to go, and Bell makes the nice decision to bring it down. Now, he ends up getting tackled by Sizlove, but it's not a negative play, and he didn't throw it and try to force it in somewhere. I've been very impressed with the composure of Blake Bell. He is very comfortable back there.
Part of what Ray was talking about, you saw those numbers on the inexperience of the defensive line. And Sizlove, who's the backup middle linebacker, one of the best Tulsa players. Trent Martin is out of this game and banged up. Bell throws, and he gets the catch into the end zone. Sterling Shepard, touchdown. 35 yards. It's 33-7. Big day for Sterling Shepard.
You see he's the middle receiver of the three, and it's just a seam route. And the problem is Tulsa has one guy deep, and that's the corner Dobbins, but they had two deep routes threatening. He didn't know which one to go to. Either one you choose, you're going to be wrong because Bell's going to hit the other guy.
Third touchdown pass for Bell. Second touchdown catch for Shepard. Extra point is good, and the Sooners are starting to roll here. Shepard's having the big game. Just 3 plays into the end zone. Bell to Shepard. That's been a great connection here this afternoon. And it's all Sooners 34-7. The chase for the Cup, well, it starts this week. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Chicago. Coverage starts on ESPN Sunday at 1. And as always, also available live on Watch ESPN. Here in Norman, the Sooners offense has been more than impressive. After a sluggish 2 weeks to start the season, Oklahoma has been marching up and down the field, almost 400 total yards already. A quick score early in the second half, 34-7. 14 Sooners with the lead over Tulsa. Another booming kickoff out of the end zone for a touchback. Dave Fleming, Ray Bentley, Lewis Johnson here from Norman. There's Blake Bell making his first career start. Here is the difference, those first 2 games, Ray, versus today. Wow.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted. I think they came out here today with the intent of having Blake Bell throw the football. They wanted to see what he could do. They also wanted to get the reps on it because the schedule gets tougher as it goes, and this is his chance. Now, they downplayed it when we spoke to Josh Heupel about the opportunity for Bell to take the job, but I think he's done so.
Under center, Watts is going to get the carry out into the open. Trey Watts spin move across the 40 and power running across the 45 out near the 47-yard line. That's 21 yards for Trey Watts.
There's a problem at the linebacker position. Dominique Alexander, the true freshman, did not fill that gap. And you're going to see when you don't fill the hole here, and you see him late getting off the block, Trey Watts will make it pay for it.
And they think he's going to be a good linebacker. His older brother plays on the defensive line for Tulsa, so it's a little family matchup for the Alexanders today. Watts jumps into Oklahoma territory, a 6-yard run for the son of J.C. Watts, the Oklahoma quarterback. And a great one, and then was a congressman, of course, in this state. J.C. Watts from 1976 to 1980. Big 8 championships, a couple in a row. 2 Orange Bowl victories with Watts under center, and then He represented the state of Oklahoma, Republican congressman for 4 terms. Still lives locally, does all kinds of stuff here in the state, and is watching his kid play against his Sooners. Watts tripped up and he's down. Let's have a little more on that story with Lewis Johnson.
Yeah, well, you know, the Tulsa offensive coordinator, Greg Peterson, was telling us that Trey Watts is such a great competitor. From summer workouts at 6 in the morning to the weight workouts to game day like today. He's just so instinctive, a guy that really can see everything from the first level to the second level and on beyond, and can just really make a lot of plays. He called him a young man who does everything right, gone from being a walk-on to now a great player. And that's a pretty strong compliment for this young kid.
You know, Lewis, he's as good a receiver, I think, as a running back. And with a guy like that, he's got a chance to play at that next level.
Well, Sooners players down hurt on the field, so we'll step aside. 34-7. That's the Oklahoma lead.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose: to stand apart. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. And Polaris. See the most complete lineup of off-road vehicles at Polaris.com.
Well, if you've been to Oklahoma, maybe you've been to Van's Pig Stand, aptly named, open since 1928, and that's making me hungry.
No doubt.
I want one of those. 34-7 Sooners, 3rd down, Tulsa. Green's going to run, and a nice cut upfield. He gets the first down. So Cody Green, who is 0 for his last 5 throwing the ball, but that time uses his legs to get the first down.
And a good decision by Green, because we've seen him try to force the ball in a few times, and it hasn't gone well for him. Here he does not do that. Tucks it down and picks up enough yardage to move the chains.
So they're going to Hurricane into Oklahoma territory. First down, Watts the tailback. They will fake it to him. Green, left sideline pass, jump ball, and it is caught. Nice play along the sideline there by Jordan James.
That's one thing about Cody Green. He's not afraid to throw the ball up there and let his receivers make a play, because the coverage is outstanding. I mean, they're right there. You see the position is pretty good there for the cornerback, Zach Sanchez, but his guy, Jordan James, goes up and just takes it away from him.
35 yards, and it's 1st and goal, Tulsa. Handoff, Watts, stutter step. And I think he found a way to get a yard out of not much. Like Charles Tapper was there. Several of his teammates. 2nd and goal.
The Oklahoma defense loves to rise up in the red zone. This is where they make their money. I look for Coach Mike Stoops to get after Green a little bit and bring some blitz.
Green under center, passing, throwing toward the corner, and it's incomplete. Again, intended for James, this time on the right side.
Pretty good coverage by Cortez Johnson. You're going to see he never does, though, get his head back around looking for the ball. But the thing he does is he puts his hand between the receiver's hands. See right there? And he's able to just shake it up enough so that James can't bring it in. That's good technique at the end.
Johnson, sophomore, who started his career with Mike Stoops at Arizona when Mike was still the head coach there. Followed him here to Norman. Sat out last year. 3rd and goal. It may be 4 down time for Tulsa. We'll see. Stepping up, Green swarm. He didn't go down easy, but he did go down. The ball came out, and I don't know if they ruled out a fumble or not. And it didn't matter because Green got it back. The ball was rattling around in there.
Jordan Phillips, who had left the field earlier in this drive, back in there. He's able to make that play.
So that's good news for the Sooners. He's a big part of their defense. He's not too badly hurt. They're going to kick a field goal here. At least attempt one. Carl Salazar, the place kicker. 26 yards right in the middle of the field. The kick is up. And not real authoritatively, but it's through for 3 points for Tulsa. 34-10 the score. That's Oklahoma's lead. So Tulsa gets 3 points out of that drive. Still Sooners rolling here today. Of course, a big part of the story of this game and what's happened in this state over the last several months, the horrific tornado in May that was not far from here up in Moore, and it affected so many people in this state. These two programs were part of the huge relief effort. To find out a little more about that, let's go back down to Lewis Johnson.
Yeah, Dave, we won't forget about that devastating situation there in Moore. And from the head coach to the players, everybody was involved from Oklahoma. Bob Stoops telling us that he and his wife were out the very next day to see what they could do to help out. His foundation, Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, they chumped in some money, and they gave out $50 Walmart cards to families to help with immediate needs, foods, diapers. Then Kirk Ferentz loaded up an Iowa football truck with food, sent it over. The Oklahoma players unloaded that. And then finally, Toby Keith had a huge concert right here. That was back on July 6th. They raised about $2 million with that event. And I understand that between a joint venture between OU, Oklahoma State, and Tulsa, along with United Way, they raised another $200,000. So just tremendous efforts from these universities.
Yeah, they did not hesitate. They were right in there. A disaster that just impacted so many people around here. Kick return for the Sooners, and across the 25, Roy Finch tackled it around the 26. That's where Oklahoma will get the ball once again. Bob Stoops has become such a big part of this community, part of this state. Not many wins away from becoming the all-time winningest Sooners head coach. And over the years, I'm sure he had some real chances to leave this program, whether it was to the NFL or whatever, and he is stuck in Norman, and they have had huge success under Bob Stoops.
They really have, and he's run a great program. You know, we just heard about the work within the community and the way they get things done around here. You have to just tip your cap to Coach Stoops.
Little flip play, nifty work there on to the left side, but pretty well defended by Tulsa. Saunders brought down.
It looked like it was going to be something good there for a second, but Saunders got corralled pretty quickly.
Jalen Saunders, who started his career at Fresno State and had a particularly big year for the Bulldogs. He's on the sideline now. Last year missed a few games at the start of the season, then came on big, had a huge game against Notre Dame. There's a pass complete right near the first down mark. Deron Neal with the catch. And I think the tackle just short of the first down. It'll set up third and short. And maybe we'll see a little Belldozer now. We've seen Bell, the thrower, almost all afternoon.
We saw a nice little adjustment there by Bell as the blitz came, and he saw it ahead of time and ran the timing route away from it and was able to get very close to the first down.
And these are the kind of spots where Bell, these last couple of years, would come in the game. The Sooner formation, they call it. Bell keeps it, left side running. Not a big gain, but enough to get the first down, a couple of yards.
That's all he really was looking for there. Could decide on which way to cut on this, and he ends up just kind of stumbling forward. And a great job again by number 55, Sean Jackson. We talked about his abilities throughout the game, and he just the way he handles blockers. That time he jumped over the guy.
The defensive MVP in their Liberty Bowl win at the end of last year. He's had a really nice game here today. Carey left side running, maybe 3 yards for Clay, Brennan Clay, who looked like he might have gotten a little hurt at the end of the first half. So I think Oklahoma happy to have him back in the game.
And Clay needed to make a decision on that one, cut one way or the other. He couldn't really make up his mind, and when you slow down, defenses catch up to you.
Bell, a little pump fake, pressured, gets away from the rush, bulldozing his way forward and gets some positive yards out of what looked like it might be a negative play.
Very easily could have been a turnover, because without Blake Bell's strength, his throwing arm got hit, and he was able to still secure the ball and then push his way for a couple 3-4 yard gain.
The true freshman Jesse Brubaker on the line for Tulsa. He got some pressure in there.
Brubaker's going to be a good ball player before it's all over.
Yeah, this is just his third college game. He's playing here in Norman against the big bad Sooners. He's holding his own. Over the top, the pass incomplete. Neal, the intended target. Fourth down. Sooners will send the punt team out for the first time, so they get a little work for Jed Barnett, the punter, who sat and watched the first half.
And that kind of throw, the fade down the sidelines, that's the hardest thing for a quarterback to I think, simulate in practice. And Bell will get better as he gets more reps in the game to do that. But if you're going to make a mistake on that, you want to overthrow the thing. And that's what he's done when he's missed on those deep shots today.
Barnett, the first-year punter for Oklahoma. Watts, the return man. Kind of a low kick. It's going to give him a chance to return it. Watts up the field. Watts still on his feet. Watts into the open. He's got to beat the punter, and he does. Trey Watts trying to get to that pylon and pushed out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. A big return for the son of a Sooner. Trey Watts in the punt return game. He can do it all.
Boy, he's got great strength. Watch him break all these arm tackles. Here's one right there. You're going to have another one right there. A guy we're just slapping at him. The punter right there. He will not go down with a single little arm tackle. That much is for sure.
Well, they'll call that a 77-yard punt return. And Tulsa, with the big play in special teams, still 6:07 to go in the third quarter. This game is not over, as impressive as the Sooners have been. To see if the Golden Hurricane could punch one in. The give to the fullback. And the carry by Chris Hall, another true freshman. Straight ahead running for a short gain of 3.
Sometimes your fullback down in this area, he'll just be able to pop through. It's a quick hitter. Give credit to the Oklahoma defense for not allowing that to happen. Grissom, the guy in there making a play.
Zach Langer, a sophomore, is now the tailback in this formation. And they'll give it to Langer. He cuts back right and now gets hit inside the 5 and stacked up at the 4. Frank Shannon with the initial hit from his middle linebacker spot.
I don't think you're going to get too far running between the tackles against this Oklahoma defense. And things are more difficult even down here in the red zone where everything's compacted a little bit. In order to score, I think you're going to have to fool them, or you're going to have to beat them with a one-on-one on the edge.
A big moment in this game. Tulsa's trying to feel like they're back in it. Watts is in the backfield. Douglas in motion. They fake it to him. Sprinting right. The pass is knocked down. And then the quarterback Green is knocked down. Very nicely done by Julian Wilson.
Well, the knocking down of the pass, the swat, is good stuff by Wilson. I'm surprised he didn't get a penalty for his little extra push right here on the quarterback. That should have been 15, in my opinion.
Yeah, the play was definitely decided. The whistle may not have been blown, but that was one that...
I mean, I'm not mad at him. I would do that myself, but I expect a penalty after something like that.
Yeah, you got to be a little smarter than that. You've already made the play. Another field goal try here for Salazar. 21-yard attempt. The kick is up and it is good. Well, the big punt return doesn't lead to a touchdown, but 3 more for Tulsa. Oklahoma 34, the Golden Hurricane 13. Saturday night football presented by Windows, and tonight at 8 Eastern, Notre Dame travels to Purdue on ABC. The 21st ranked Fighting Irish and Brian Kelly, after losing last week in a thrilling game up in Michigan against the Boilermakers, 8 Eastern on ABC. Michigan, after that big win, a little sluggish, it sounds like today.
It's a typical letdown deal. You have to beat a big rival, a huge national implication game, and then you got Akron coming to town. It's hard for kids to get excited.
Sounded sloppy. The Sooners have not been sloppy. They've played well, but Tulsa trying to hang around. They'll kick it off deep and very deep into the end zone. That will be a touchback. Let's check in once again with Wendy Nix in the studio.
Dave, thank you. We go back to Ann Arbor for a Taco Bell Live Moss moment. Michigan, of course, following up a huge win over Notre Dame last week. Devin Gardner to J.U. Chesson, the 36-yard TD run takes it all the way in. And Michigan now leading Tulsa, Akron 21-10. UCLA and Nebraska on ABC 21-17. And Louisville 20, Kentucky 3 on ESPN.
All right, Wendy, thanks. So the Wolverines are leading that game, but not the kind of performance I'm sure that they were expecting after beating Notre Dame. 34-13, Sooners hand the ball off, straight ahead running. Clay got hit hard as he got to the 30. 5, maybe 6 yards after falling forward on first down.
You have to give the Tulsa defense credit for the way they have stopped the Oklahoma run. Oklahoma in their previous 2 games busted big runs in each of those situations, and today not so much. This defense has done a nice job tracking guys down.
Yeah, they were really concerned about the big play on the ground. Just 77 rush yards as a team for the Sooners. Clay cuts it back middle and still fighting. He'll get the first down. Good effort by senior Brennan Clay.
Yeah, that was all Clay at the end of that one, as he just powered through the would-be tacklers for Tulsa. Clay averaging 7.1 yards per carry coming into this one. He's a little less than half that today.
He stays in as the tailback. Millard is on the left of the quarterback, Blake Bell. First down, Sooners. The fake, Bell passing deep down the middle, and it's tipped and incomplete. Intended for Jazz Reynolds, who had a big play early in the game. Bradley White was there with good coverage.
And another nice job displaying patience from Blake Bell as he waited until Reynolds cleared the underneath safety. You see right there, he's getting shadowed underneath. Actually, it's the free safety, Bradley White, who gets underneath there. He just got a tip on that thing. A little bit behind Reynolds. Had he let him a little more, could have been a first down and a big play.
A rare incompletion, still 18 for 26 for Bell. In his first career start, the handoff and across to the 40 for Millard, the fullback, H-back, tight end, whatever you want to call him. He does a little bit of everything for the Sooners.
He does it all well. You know, watching Millard on tape, it was amazing to me, his ability to block as a tight end, as a fullback, and as they put him in there as a halfback. No matter where he is, he's able to make excellent blocks.
3rd and 7, and I think Tulsa jumped there. Bell's going to take a shot deep right sideline, incomplete. Again, Reynolds the intended target, but the flag, I believe, will go against Tulsa.
Yeah, and a great recognition by Blake Bell to see, okay, we got a free play here. I might as well throw it deep and take a shot, which he does. Just overextended a little bit on Jazz Reynolds.
Offside, number 75, defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And not quite a first down, about a yard short, but it changes the situation, that's for sure. Just about 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter from Norman. What really has been a beautiful day here. The heat in this part of the country has been intense these last few weeks. And a little break this weekend, I think, helping the players out. Option tight play. Bell keeps it. Bell's got the first down.
Yeah, that's just an old shotgun play. Quarterback power left.
Yeah, not really an option. There was only one option. Just keep it and go forward.
One thing, the tempo now for this Oklahoma offense, they've slowed it way down, and I think that helps the Tulsa defense a lot. When that offense gets going fast, it's hard not only to get your breath, but to get pre-snap reads and identifying formations and tendencies. It's a lot easier to play against a slower moving offense.
Yeah, it is a young Tulsa defense, so you would think they would welcome a breather. Bell pressured. Bell gets away from that pressure and then bulldozes his way into Tulsa territory. Once again, let's go to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Dave, thank you. What once was a 21-3 ball game, now quite a bit closer on ABC. UCLA has scored. Jordan James on the carry, 21-17, trailing Nebraska on ABC.
That's a big game for both of those teams. And UCLA with the really difficult week. They lost a teammate, a horrible accident. A young wide receiver was killed as a pedestrian this week. They had to deal with that. Playing a tough team on the road, and they got off to a poor start, but the Bruins playing well now. The Sooners moving the ball against Tulsa. There's that quick tempo that Ray was just talking about. Bell, a little high, but the pass is complete. The initial tackle broken. And finally, Bester goes down. With Colton Bester with the catch for 7 yards.
And the strategy here for Oklahoma is get the first down and then go fast. And that's what they're trying to do here.
Go fast, the quick snap. Now the throw. Shepard on the right side. Shepard makes a move, dives for that first down mark. And we'll see. What a day for Sterling Shepard, the son of Derek Shepard, who is a wide receiver at Oklahoma. His dad was then a coach, first for Bob Stoops here. 7 catches, 121 yards. Sterling wears number 3. That's the number his dad wore as a Sooner. And his dad very tragically passed away at much too young of an age. And the family has still stayed a big part of this Sooner program. And now Sterling Shepard is a budding star as a sophomore wideout. 3rd down and 1. It was a little bit short. Clay to the outside, and he gets the first down and a few yards extra.
Great recognition by Brendan Clay of seeing the edge and knowing that he could get around it, because there was a massive humanity right in front of him. And you're going to see, watch him run to the right there, and it looks like just a pile. Look at all those red jerseys, but he sees the edge and he's able to get around it. Nice block to make that edge by Brandon Green, the tight end.
1st and 10, Sooners right at the Tulsa 25-yard line. Bell, another fake, back to pass, going deep, end zone, and he led his man a little too far. Bester had an opening there, but it's incomplete.
And Bell will, every time he throws a deep ball, he puts that high trajectory on it. I think on that one, he could have thrown that one on a line and just let his receiver away from the middle of the field, or across the middle of the field, instead of deep into the end zone. Kind of cut that thing off and lead your receiver out to the ball. He'll pick that up as he gets better and has more looks at this type of situation.
Yeah, I think you make a good point, and you've been talking about that all day. Hey, he needs that experience of throwing those passes, not just the little screens and the short routes, but going downfield. He's getting that experience here today. Bell in the pocket, complete, short, right at the 20, and a quick tackle, forward progress inside the 20 to about the 19. Jazz Reynolds with the catch. Final seconds here of the 3rd quarter. And the Sooners are going to wait for the 4th quarter to run their 3rd down play. Blake Bell and the Sooners offense leading Tulsa 34-13. Now, the football's been good today, but it's also always about the scene here in Norman. Sooners 34, Tulsa 13. First play of the 4th quarter is a big one. 3rd and 4, Oklahoma. 13th play of the drive, Bell, and it's knocked down, incomplete. Good defense there by Tulsa. Reynolds thought there was some contact before the ball arrived, but Jake Seislove, who's been pressed into duty with an injury, has made a couple of plays.
Yeah, he took away the inside guy, and then Dobbins reached around and broke it up. And you know, this is a deal where Bell kind of was a little late. Took a shot afterwards. I thought he should have got rid of that ball a little bit quicker.
So now a field goal try for the Sooners. 36-yard attempt for Michael Honeycutt. The kick is on the way, and it wobbles on through. Sooners convert the drive into points. They lead Tulsa 37-13. 37-13, the 14th ranked Sooners leading Tulsa here in Norman. Just a few seconds into the 4th quarter, the Sooners offense, other than the drive at the very end of the first half when they just ran out the clock, only 1 punt. Every other possession for Oklahoma has ended with at least 3 points. So the offense has been efficient, and they've got the 37-13 lead.
And they've done it through the air, which is the question mark of this offense. I'm not saying they're a polished air raid machine at this point, but they have improved dramatically today.
Huge progress for the Sooners. Another kickoff that's going to go back out of the end zone. So another touchback. Wendy Nix in the studios once again. Wendy.
Dave, thank you. A touching moment halftime of the Rutgers Eastern Michigan game. You can see Eric LeGrand, his number retired. He was paralyzed from the neck down in 2010. Number 52, the first number in Rutgers school history to be retired, and with good reason. A very happy Eric LeGrand on hand. Dave?
Yeah, thanks. Great story. Kyle Flood is head coach, and that's a real nice gesture. They've been playing football longer than anybody. Rutgers has, and the first number retired, Eric LeGrand, who helps out on the Rutgers broadcast now.
And 2 years ago, I was doing a game up there at Rutgers, and Eric joined us for a quarter, and that was a lot of fun. The guy's got some abilities to, as a football analyst, broke things down and had a great conversation with Eric, and what a great spirit.
Yeah, so I love to see that. He has just remained such a big part of their program. Watts with the carry on first down. 2nd and 5 for Tulsa. Green, the quarterback. Over the middle, caught right at midfield. And a catch by Connor Floyd for a nice gain right to midfield. A good throw by Cody Green.
And a nice scheme, too, because of the fake. It brought the rest of the underneath coverage away from that throwing lane, and then all the receiver Floyd had to do was just cut underneath it. See, there's no underneath coverage right there, and it's an easy shot for Cody Green.
Green this time quickly out to the right side, catch and run, and some power running from Jordan James with flags down on the play.
That was a very nice pass from Cody Green. Strike. It gave James a chance to have momentum.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12th man was on the field at the snap. The penalty is declined. The play resulted in a first down.
First down, penalty decline. The gain in the pass game as Tulsa well into Sooners territory now. And now a whistle and a timeout for Oklahoma. So the Sooners want a timeout. We'll take a timeout ourselves.
Timeout, Oklahoma. Their first charge of the second half.
Indeed. 13:48 to go in Norman. 37-13 Sooners.
ESPN College Football is presented by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. Take it after lunch. Be clear and alert for hours. And in part by the new 2014 Scion TC, made to go the distance.
Now, statue of the great Billy Sims, a former Sooner. 37-13 Oklahoma, 14th ranked team in the country, leading Tulsa. 13:48 to go, fourth quarter. The Golden Hurricane, who have moved the ball into Oklahoma territory, 1st and 10. So Tulsa with the ball and on the move, just trying to hang in this game. Fake handoff. Green rolls right. He's got his man wide open over the middle, and the pass is complete to Tyler Wilson for a first down. For more on Tulsa, let's send it back down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Dave, you know it's impossible for these OU fans in the Tulsa bench area to ignore the scoreboard. Offensive and defensive coaches have been doing their thing over there. Trey Watts walking up and down the bench area, giving everybody high fives, saying hang in there. But it was Bill Blankenship who told us that he likes the fact that they'll expose themselves and they'll know a lot more about themselves after this game. So you have to wonder now what he's thinking about as this game continues to wind down.
Not what Tulsa was looking for on first down there. It's gotten a lot tougher for the Golden Hurricane, Ray, as they've gotten close to that red zone and inside the red zone.
And that's usually the case, as defenses gain advantage when there's less field to work with. But right now Mike Stoops has basically his backup defense in there. And he's kind of letting them play base, too. He's not really blitzing anybody. He has guys out there working on their games, on their techniques, and trying to get better.
So 2nd down and 10. Green, fake handoff. Good protection. He throws behind his man. So there was a little miscommunication there intended for Connor Floyd.
I think it's a good thing he did throw it behind Floyd, because otherwise Zach Sanchez would have stepped in front and stolen that ball and gone the other way. I think it was a self-preservation bad throw from Cody Green, an intentional one.
Could be, and if that's the case, that was a good decision. The one turnover today, and that was a big one. The game was still fairly close then. 3rd and 10. Play clock winding down, and I don't know if Tulsa got a timeout or not. I don't think they did.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, that should not happen. Somebody's got to be aware it wasn't even close.
Yeah, that's got to be a coaching mistake on the sidelines. I see no reason why you would want to save a timeout here. You know, you're looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's 3rd and 15.
It's the 4th quarter. You're down by 24 points. You got to get in the end zone here. Green throws very short. It's incomplete. And that was not going to work even if it had been completed. Now it's 4th and 15. Zach Sanchez, more good coverage there.
Sanchez, a redshirt freshman who got the start week 1, played so well they let him start last week, and again this week he's kind of battling with Cortez Johnson for that right corner spot.
Another young player on this Sooners defense. It'll get loud here now at Memorial Stadium on 4th and 15. 8th play of the drive. They need to get to the 12. Tulsa does. Play clock again winding down. This time they get the play off. Green downfield, and it's caught. Inside the 10, a 1st down and more. Jordan James, what an athletic play. A good delivery from Green. So the 4th down conversion for 16 yards. It's 1st and goal.
And Jordan James will go up and take the football in a crowd. I mean, that's not the first time we've seen him do it today. And here he is coming at you from the outside. Watch him cut in front. There's a lot of traffic there. He just goes up fearless and makes the play. And it was actually Sanchez who couldn't get there because of the other traffic in front of him.
100 yards now for James receiving in this game. I formation. The fade, and it's knocked down incomplete. Really good coverage there, and there's your man, Zach Sanchez, knocked it away.
His timing at the end of this play is outstanding. You see Sanchez, he reads the quarterback. Now he's just playing the football. And he gets up there and he's mad at himself because he wanted that one-hand catch. Wasn't able to do that, but he still broke it up and was in great position. His technique was spotless.
10th play of the drive coming up here. Green has done most of it through the air. 2nd and goal, Tulsa. Watts in motion. A little pitch play to Douglas. He's got blockers. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Jatarian Douglas with the 6-yard run and an extra point away from making this a 17-point game.
And Bob Stoop's not going to be happy with the way Tulsa was able to move it down the field. However, bear in mind, it was the second-team defense for Oklahoma that was out there pretty much. And I also talked earlier about you got to get to the edge in the red zone against this Oklahoma defense. There's nothing happening up the middle.
Extra point up and good. So Tulsa not quite done, under 12 to play. It's 37-20.
Little toss to the outside. Quick pitch, good block on the edge by Watts. And Douglas gets the 6.
College football primetime on ESPN tonight, 7 Eastern. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Jadavian Clowney and the Gamecocks need a win. 13th ranked team in the country. 10:30 Eastern. Pac-12, Arizona State hosts Big Ten, Wisconsin. The 20th ranked Badgers on the road in what will be a tough game. The Oklahoma defense not having quite the same performance. Only 7 points allowed combined in their first 2 games. 20 allowed now today to Tulsa. The Golden Hurricanes have been impressive. And at least hanging in this game and getting some points on the board against a tough Sooners defense. So it's 37-20. And the kickoff will once again be very deep and through the end zone. That gives us a chance to go back to the studio with Wendy Nix.
Dave, thank you very much. A check on Nebraska leading UCLA 21-17 on ABC. Had been 21-3 at one point, but here's Brett Hundley to Shaquille Evans, and the Bruins have their first lead of the afternoon, but far from done. Hundley again, this time to Philip Rule. But since then, UCLA has scored again, 35 unanswered points. The score now, 38-21 UCLA. Dave?
It's hard for Wendy to keep up. You got to cue up those highlights real fast. UCLA is just unstoppable right now. Carry left side for the Sooners, and a good run by Finch right near the first down mark. For the second down and short, the Sooners have the ball once again. Well, Blake Bell, this is his first ever start, and it stacks up pretty well, doesn't it, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, he's closing in on the all-time record for Oklahoma quarterbacks in their first start. You see Sam Bradford holding that against North Texas back in '07. But certainly, I don't know that that was expected. But he's been outstanding today. Very accurate in the short game, and he's completed some long ones as well.
2nd and 1, and they will hand the ball off. Finch spinning, and I don't know. He got close. It'll depend on the spot.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, they did.
But Finch brings some energy into this offense, which has kind of been, I don't know, a little bit sloppy maybe in the second half. Not explosive anyway, and Finch comes out there, he's instant energy.
Well, Finch is the speed back. You get the two who are a little more powerful, particularly Damian Williams, who is not playing today. Coach's decision, not hurt. Not quite as deep at that position. Another handoff for Finch. He's got room. 40-45 to midfield. There's the burst. There's the speed. Roy Finch along the sideline and just pushed out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17.
Yeah, I think Finch got his offensive line a little excited. And they just busted open a huge hole for him on the left side. The little cutback. He gets a great block from Millard, and that's the one that really sprung him into that second level. Turned into a foot race, and Finch just ran out of width on the field.
Yeah, good call by you. Energy, 48 yards on that carry. He's got 63 on just 5 rushes.
The Energizer Bunny down there.
Plus he had that reception and run. So Roy Finch having a big game for the Sooners. Bell will give it once again. Right side running, trying to get to the edge this time. Even with the nifty moves, just nowhere to go, and it turns into a big loss. They'll spot him at the 25, so he goes backwards 8 yards on that first down play.
And you got to be thinking Finch is looking for a breather after that long run, and he's going to get one.
So he'll catch his breath. Clay back on the field. Plenty of time on the play clock. 2nd down and long, though. For a first down, they need to get all the way to the 7. Bell, fake handoff, throwing middle. He's got his man. Caught, touchdown. Jalen Saunders with the touchdown catch, 25 yards. And I think it is going to be a record-setting day for Blake Bell in his first ever start for the Sooners.
And you see, this is just a straight up-the-seam route from Jalen Sanders. And what I like about it is Bell, he puts that one on a rope. The deeper throws today, he's been laying them out there, letting his guys run underneath them. That's not the throw you need there, and he recognized that through a strike.
Extra point up and good. Well, no Oklahoma quarterback has ever had this kind of debut. His first start, Bell almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Saunders this one. Sooners up 44-20. Well, what a day for the Oklahoma offense. 44-20, the 14th ranked Sooners have been impressive here in Norman. And into the 4th quarter, Blake Bell, his first ever start, passed for more yards than any other Oklahoma quarterback in his first collegiate start. So the pass game has come to life here today for Oklahoma. And the Sooners are going to kick it off deep to Tulsa.
Of course, you know now Coach Stoops will be complaining about the running game.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
Well, it's part of the edge of being a head coach. You got to find ways to keep your kids improving and make sure that nobody gets a little too happy after a nice performance. But this one will, I think, make everybody here in Oklahoma feel better about a passing game, Ray, that for the last 10 years more has been, if not the most prolific in college football, certainly close to it. In the first 2 weeks, the pass offense just wasn't there, and that's the question that needed to be answered today, and they have moved the ball through the air, to say the least.
Well, you're following up Sam Bradford and Landry Jones now, those two eras that were very productive through the air. I got to think Blake Bell won the job here today. Trevor Knight out with an injured knee. I don't know if he'll get back in.
Yeah, I think so too. Nelson with the tackle as the quarterback Green tried to keep it. He just had nowhere to go. Another good play by Corey Nelson.
Nelson just all over the field again by alignment and assignment. They move him around and he just doesn't make mistakes. The only problem he had today, he dropped a sure interception. Other than that, he's been all over it.
Played at the powerhouse Skyline High School in Dallas. His linebacker teammate Frank Shannon, those two were teammates in high school.
It had to be a pretty good high school defense with those two guys lined up.
They had a pretty good foundation, that's for sure. Green throwing, and it's incomplete left side. Intended for Kevin Lucas, true freshman, has 3 catches on the year. They think he's got a chance to be a real good player.
And they're going to need him to be, as Kieris Garrett, who was their leading receiver coming into this game, out for the season with a compound leg fracture, and that gave Lucas his first start here today.
A third straight year where a big receiver, a very important part of the pass game for Tulsa, has gone down with a season-ending injury. Third down and 11. The throw, and it's caught short of the first down. Nice catch by Connor Floyd, but not enough for the first down. We'll see if Tulsa goes for it or not.
I think the punt team's coming off.
Yeah.
And a nice job by Sanchez of making them shorten that route. He forced Floyd to choke it down, and then the pressure made Green get rid of it sooner than he wanted to.
High punt, already a fair catch signal by Saunders. He makes it at the Oklahoma 15-yard line. 50-yard punt and no return. Well, time to take a look at our hardest working player, brought to you by Polaris.
And you got to give it to the big guy, the quarterback, the belldozer, Blake Bell. Outstanding today and showing that he can throw the football down the field. And that was very exciting for Sooner fans to see. Here's the most recent touchdown pass. But what I was mostly impressed with was his composure as the starter and his accuracy in the short passing game, leading to all kinds of run after the catch yardage for the Sooner offense.
That's sort of the key in this passing offense. Handoff on first down, and not a lot of room there. The run play is stuffed. Let's go back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Dave, thank you so much for the lack of a hangover effect for Michigan. This late in the ballgame, Kyle Cole to Terrell Goodman. Akron leading less than 5 minutes to play, 24-21 in the big house.
Now can they beat Michigan on the road?
It's starting to look that way.
I mean, that would be a major, major upset. It's been a long time since Akron won a game on the road, let alone went to Michigan, beat the Wolverines. Nice play to turn the ball upfield by Jazz Reynolds. Gain of 11, first down for Reynolds.
Coach Terry Bowden in his second year at Akron looks like he might have something rolling here. If you're able to go in there in the big house and beat Michigan. Although the Wolverines have had a habit every few years, you know, it was Appalachian State, then it was Toledo, and this year it's Akron. You kind of hoped that was done, but apparently not. We'll see how this thing ends.
Yeah, as Wendy told us, 5 minutes still to go in that one, and I'm sure we'll be monitoring that game as it comes down to the end. Handoff here, Ford, the true freshman, Keith Ford, across the 30 to the 31. The mix of speed and power for Ford, 3-yard gain. 17 yards rushing in this one. He could be the guy. Both the top tailbacks, in fact, all 3 of the top running backs on the depth chart. Clay Williams Finch are seniors. Ford, huge recruit out of Cypress, Texas. His 4th quarter, he may get some work. Bell Handoff, and he knocks a defender backwards. There wasn't a lot of room there, but you saw a glimpse of the power from Ford.
Hey, you like the way he got up there and hit it into the hole, and there was nowhere to run, and so he just tried to run through the wall here. Check him out. I mean, that's size love, the young linebacker coming in, and he got sized up pretty good, but not a lot of love.
Not a lot. 44-20. Oklahoma ahead. 6 minutes now to play. It's 3rd and 4 for the Sooners. Bell, a sprint left, looking downfield. Now checks middle and gets the pass complete. And that will be a first down. The umpire got in the way there. Otherwise, that might have been a bigger gain. 6 yards. 1st and 10 Sooners.
Great composure by Bell. Watch him. He's looking over to his left. Nothing there, nothing there. He says there's got to be something out here. His eyes find the receiver working against the grain. Teron Neal throws a strike to him for the first down.
Get out of the way. Bell on 3rd down. Those numbers are really impressive. 8 of 12. Here's a handoff. Finch back in the game. Ahead for a couple of yards. Once again, let's go down to the sidelines with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Dave, OU has its first ever director of sports nutrition. That's Tiffany Bird, and she's estimated to be one of about 50 working across college football. Her general goal, guys, are to make sure players are having a strong breakfast, eating, staying hydrated at all times, sufficiently recover from workouts. But in game, you ought to see her work. She's got the refueling happening, making sure guys are staying hydrated, handed out fruit. Bob Stoops said that they have gone through 2 100-degree games and not one cramp yet. So happy with what Tiffany Bird is doing here.
Well, that is really impressive. It's not as hot today. There's another completion across midfield. First down into Tulsa territory. So it's not as hot, but it's still warm, and I haven't seen any cramping from the Sooners. That's a 13-yard catch there.
I believe Bell just went over 400 yards throwing the football, 404 to be exact this afternoon. That's amazing.
That was Austin Bennett with the catch, his first of the day. 561 total yards. Bell with more than 400 of them through the air. Handoff, big hole. Ford stays on his feet. Ford still going. Still going. What power from the true freshman. Now that's pretty exciting to watch. You can see why they love Keith Ford.
Well, they list him at 5'11", 205. He's running like he's about 255. And we saw him run over size love earlier, and now watch him just take a big hit there. And that's Mitchell Osborne, a linebacker who brings the lumber. And Ford's had none of it and ran him right over.
43 yards for Ford. 1st and 10 Sooners. Now under 4 minutes to play. Complete right side and trying to get to that edge. The receiver did get to the edge there. Derek Woods, redshirt freshman. Sooners using their depth on offense. Now Bell has stayed in a game, which is interesting, but the skill players and even some of the linemen, they're starting to get some of the depth in.
Well, the only guy they have to back him up is Kendall Thompson, who was just allowed to practice at the beginning of this week. Thompson made some noise in the spring and was competing pretty well at the quarterback spot throughout fall camp, and then got the foot injury. And he's a lefty, and we'll see how he does, what happens with him when he enters the picture.
Handoff, Finch, cut back run to the 10. The stutter step move inside the 5. Finally spun down at the 3. Roy Finch, pretty exciting. 11-yard carry, 1st and goal Sooners.
Roy Finch, I said it before, the energy he has and brings into this lineup, it's exciting to watch from the outside, and I know that team's temperature goes up a little bit when Roy's in the ball game.
I mean, that's sort of the definition of change of pace back. It's not just a different style, but somebody you can use different plays with, can give you that burst of energy. 1st and goal. Finch out, and now Ford, maybe first chance for a touchdown for Ford. Handoff, right side, and in. He's just too strong. So the true freshman into the end zone for the first time in his Oklahoma career. 3 yards. It's 50-20.
thing about games like this, it gives you a chance to develop your depth, and the Sooners are finding some guys that they can go to.
11-play drive, 5.5 minutes off the clock. Extra point is good. 51-20 Sooners.
They get it done on the ground, and Ford with a better idea.
27-13.
All right, thanks, Wendy. We'll see if Michigan can hang on. The Golden Hurricane come out for 1st and 10, but then call a timeout before they run a play. 51-20 Oklahoma, not just on the scoreboard, Ray, but also some pretty good dominance on the stat sheet.
Yeah, at one point Tulsa actually had 79 rushing yards to Oklahoma's 71, I believe. Well, they got that turned around, and you know, this has been an outstanding performance by the Sooners. As you look at it, it's not going to get any easier. They go to Notre Dame, and then TCU comes to them, and then followed by Texas. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier, and they're going to need every one of these guys here that they have shown today to get that done. And I got to think that Blake Bell has taken over as the starting quarterback here for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, those next 3 games a real challenge, and then some more tough games as the season progresses. The handoff on 1st down. Watts, who has really showed well here today against a program that means so much to his family. Trey Watts for 2 yards there. 60 yards on the ground and a touchdown. He had a big punt return. He's caught the ball beautifully out of the backfield.
Yeah, he has been, I think, the bright spot for Tulsa here today. I also think Cody Green has played better than he has thus far this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I formation, Langer now in at tailback. They hand off to Langer, and he gets a yard or 2 to set up a 3rd down. Well, for Tulsa, I think the Golden Hurricane, they've got to regroup. Showed some things. You were just talking about that, Ray, but this is a team that won 11 games last year. They won a bowl game, unanimous preseason favorite in their division of Conference USA, and Tulsa so far has not played quite like the team that won 11 last year.
Not yet. I think they got better today. You know, they got another tough one, Iowa State next week, and then they start in that Conference USA competition.
And they should be very competitive there. The throw and the catch for a 1st down. And now the ball comes out, but I think the whistle blew. So the whistle blew. The play is dead. Forward progress across the 1st down mark out to about the 27.
That was L.J. Moore just ripping that thing out, which is good by him, but the forward progress had stopped. I thought the whistle was right on time there.
Yeah, the catch for Zach Epps. So 1st down and the clock at 1:27 to go. Almost a big play for the Sooners defense. Little pitch play and the move to get by the initial tackler, but then driven out of bounds. Zach Langer. 2nd down coming up for Tulsa.
Evans ended up making the stop, but that was L.J. Moore who had that open shot in the backfield, and his head dropped down. You can't tackle when your head goes down.
Well, Ray, what do you think about this Sooners defense last year at the end of the year, and not even just at the end, but things got a little uglier than they like around here. A big emphasis this offseason on getting that defense better. You think the Sooners have a chance to have a much improved defense?
I really do. I like the way they've gone to the different personnel where it's an odd front. It's a 30 look that they can easily jump into a 4-man front by moving Stryker down to a defensive end. But when you have more athletes on the field, especially against Big 12 competition, that bodes well because you're going to see all these spread offenses and the throwing that goes on. And the other part of that equation is the blitz package. With the 30 front, the blitz package is much more, I think, hard to pick up because you have more guys who can come from that 2nd level. And I don't think we saw very much blitzing today from Mike Stoops, but we will see that down the road because they're very good at it.
Well, they will see plenty of offense in their league, that's for sure. The pass caught, and the tackle right near the 1st down mark will stop the clock. Connor Floyd with the reception. And Texas remains to be seen how powerful their offense is, but they can score points. Texas Tech looks much improved on offense. And Baylor right now is just racking up the points and the yards. They have been extremely impressive.
That's the one you have to look out for, I think, is Baylor. Where they've got things going down there, and they are an offensive juggernaut right now.
Well, the final seconds are going to tick off the clock. Tulsa's not going to run another play here. The Sooners with Blake Bell, his first ever start was a big success. Coach Stoops and Coach Blankenship with some good sportsmanship around midfield, and Oklahoma with the impressive 51-20 win. And Blake Bell ends up being the story, Ray, I think, with the way he threw the ball.
Yeah, I think the Sooners have a new starting quarterback, and his name is Bulldozer, the Belldozer.
However you want to say it, Blake Bell and company, they were impressive. Final score, Oklahoma 51, Tulsa 20 for Ray Bentley and our entire crew, Lewis Johnson. Dave Fleming saying so long here from Norman. The Sooners roll. Coming up next, college football scoreboard.